I'm the person of sarcasm.
You don't pick up on my sarcasm always.
No, I just don't pay attention to it.
Are born with a nose you're not happy with, or with, I don't know, a feature on your face you're not happy with, and you want to fix it. I have nothing against that. You do you.
Yeah.
As long as you're truly doing it for yourself. They all go and get the same work done to fit into this certain look and look a certain way, and they all start looking the same.
You don't know if it's an implant, and then you will start comparing yourself to that.
If we're all the same, it's no longer beautiful.
I have been called various things throughout the years as doing modeling in Cyprus.
People are taking literal medication for diabetes to lose weight. What is going on in this world?
It's so bad. The more wise we ask to each other, the closer we'll get to the root.
You meet a gorgeous girl, and then you get to know her and she's empty. You get accustomed to beauty.
I did not realize the whole effort it takes in order to look that picture perfect.
I have a scale, I have a mirror, I just don't want to talk about my weight. It's my problem.
Until you know and find your way of how to deal with it, I think that's the natural way of responding, like, and then just go home and cry.
No, I will make them cry. Have you ever dumbed yourself down, girls? Why? Don't do that. Here we are
in the studio
for another episode
of Ice Latte Girls with
Olivia,
Maria Gojkovicc,
Constantinides.
I was like, I want you to say my last name also.
You really love it when we say her last name.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the American style. They always introduce each other with their last names also. And we don't do that.
I'm just like, Maria.
Olivia. Okay. Imagine. Welcome to another episode of Ice Latte Girls. Maria and Olivia.
I wasn't speaking in that tone.
No, but
so it
Maria.
makes a big difference.
Maria.
Tone of voice in life makes a huge difference. That's why a lot of people get into misunderstandings over texts. Because you can read something and it can be like, yeah, okay. You can be like, yeah, okay. Or you can be like, yeah, okay.
It's true. Speaking
so different.
of text, I've noticed that you, like, I cannot really read you because you sometimes write with a lot of emojis and sometimes like very like...
Depending on how busy I am. I'm also a really bad texter.
Yeah, I've noticed.
And I've become worse lately. I'm not very responsive. And what happens to me all the time is I'm like, oh, wait, I'm really busy right now. I'm at work. I'm doing a million things. I'll respond later. And I open the message and then I forget it ever happened. And I never respond until I have to text them about something like later, hours later or days later. And I'm like, oh, shit, I never responded.
You know, like the way you write, yeah. Like, yes, like you agree on something. It's just Y-E. And I'm like, oh, damn, did I do anything now?
No, I'm just not a very good texter.
No. And I mean, if I write a text and I don't include emojis, I feel like the other person will misunderstand me completely. Because I feel like I put another persona there. I'm the one who writes all these emojis that apparently are not it's not appropriate to write anymore. Those laughing, crying ones.
To be honest, because I'm in online meetings all day and doing a million things at work, working like long shifts. And then I rush. I drive to Pilates. My schedule is really hectic right now. I don't have time to text. So I'm just like...
Fast texter.
And I either forget or like I respond kind of dryly. But it's not really dry. I'm just busy.
No, it's okay. Thank you for clearing it out now. Now we can continue being...
But you know what I started implementing in my texts when I'm like in bed and actually in the mood to text?
What?
GIFs.
Oh,
they're so funny.
I keep forgetting that those exist. And that's actually a really fun way to communicate. To just like only send GIFs. Do you pronounce it GIFs?
Fun. GIFs?
I don't know.
GIFs? I don't know.
GIFs?
GIFs? GIFs?
GIFs.
Oh, everyone's disagreeing.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
The name is GIF, but it makes more sense to be GIF because it's
I say GIF.
Interface, file, something.
Oh.
We learned something new.
Thank you for the information. Learn something new every day.
Nice.
I also recently started implementing it into Instagram comments.
Oh, that's funny.
So funny.
I like that.
Like instead of writing a comment, because I never know what to write. I'm not good with that stuff. So I just send like a GIF of like,
it's such a very, very nice way to show like the emotion of what you want to write. It's perfect.
Or then I add a comment and a GIF. So funny.
That's good. By the way,
I don't know. Maybe I have an old sense of humor, like an old person. Dad humor. Dad jokes.
Oh, do you have any good dad jokes?
No. I can't think of anything. I really blacked out.
No, I also cannot think of anything. I think we need to be way more prepared to do anything like that.
Yeah.
like, I'm not the kind of person who knows jokes out of like in my brain. I always wanted to be that kind of person who can just like, oh, I know this joke.
You also don't pick up on sarcasm easily.
Yeah, I do. I'm the person of sarcasm.
You don't pick up on my sarcasm always.
No, I just don't pay attention to it. That's a different story.
That's offensive.
No, but I don't like sarcasm that are like a little bit meant to, instead of uplifting, but like to drag it down for like unnecessary reasons.
No, I mean sarcasm. No, sarcasm shouldn't be offensive. Then it's not really sarcastic. It's just mean.
Yeah, exactly. That's the ones I don't pay attention to. When it's a little bit petty. Pettiness, sarcasm.
No, but that's just pettiness. That's not really sarcasm, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the definition of sarcasm. By the way, something else I noticed when I watched back an episode of ours, I noticed something with my smile that has changed. Like I always had like a gum showing a lot when I smile. When I smile, like really smile.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, shit. My first thought was, I need to go and do lip fillers because I've done it twice, you know? And then I realized, wait a minute. Why do I feel the need of doing lip fillers? Where does that stem from? Why do I keep continuing like wanting to do that?
Beauty standards.
So, exactly. So I'm like in between, like, should I do it? Should I not do it? I've done it before, but is it okay to suddenly switch and be like, no, I don't stand for that. How do you see that?
Well, personally, I have never touched anything on my face, even though people make assumptions online.
Yeah.
I recently, actually, not recently, like a month ago, made a TikTok response to a comment that responded, oh, look at you, fake lips, fake teeth, fake this, fake that. She started naming fake things. And I was just like, actually, I don't have fake teeth. I actually have little buttons on my teeth right now for my Invisalign because I'm trying to straighten my teeth for hygienic reasons, for dental reasons, not even for the aesthetics. That's why I'm doing it so late in life.
Yeah.
And it just kind of accidentally like came up. I made this random decision. But other than that, I've never touched anything on my face.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to. Now, am I the right person to speak on this? Probably not, because I do fit into beauty standards. So it's not fair for me to sit here and preach and be like, I'm against plastic surgery when I never really felt like I needed it.
Yeah, you were lucky with getting good looks. Yeah.
Now, if you are born with a nose you're not happy with, or with, I don't know, a feature on your face you're not happy with, and you want to fix it, I have nothing against that. You do you.
Yeah.
As long as you're truly doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Where my issue, where I draw the line is I don't like that girls are starting to all look the same.
Yeah.
They all go and get the same work done to fit into this certain look and look a certain way. And they all start looking the same. I love individuality. And I don't think only big lips are beautiful, or only snatched eyebrows are beautiful, or having these cheekbones or this chin. If we're all the same, it's no longer beautiful at the end of the day. So that's where my issue starts. Another thing is like 16-year-old girls getting filler. I don't think it's a good age to start these kind of things.
No, nothing at all in terms of surgeries or injections in that age.
You know, you never know. I might eventually want to do something in life, but now I'm also at the stage, you know, a lot of people are posting about breast implants, how it caused toxic shock syndrome.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, even filler or even like implants, these kind of foreign materials in your body cannot possibly be good for you. They may not necessarily be terrible for you, but it doesn't make sense to me that a foreign object in your body is very good to you, good for you. So, you know, a lot of people are coming out with issues they've had and they got sick and they didn't know why they got sick. So a lot of women are talking about that nowadays. And, you know, with any surgery comes risks. So if you go in for a BBL, it's very likely you're not going to wake up.
No, that's also very scary. I actually have a friend, not BBL, who has breast implants and it exploded. No, it's
very dangerous.
It leaked inside, and that's very scary. So she has to do a re-surgery.
But did you know that with breast implants in general, let's say you do it when you're 25, you need to redo it in 10 to 15 years, and then again in 10 to 15 years. So you're going to have 3 surgeries at least in your lifetime. That is crazy. A lot of people who go and get the work done aren't fully aware of the fact that you're going to have to go back under the knife. And you know, anything that involves general anesthesia and putting you to sleep could be deadly.
Okay.
It is.
you
Anesthesia
never
is
know.
very dangerous. You never know. So personally, I'm also terrified of going under anesthetic and going through surgery. So I personally don't want to do anything. But I really appreciated Megan Fox did a podcast recently and she's gotten a lot of work done. She gets accused of doing a lot more than she actually did. And she very openly spoke about it. She's like, I'm still going to get burned at the stake. Even if I'm honest about it, even if I'm not, people are still going to have something negative to say. I do what makes me feel good in my body. And I really respected that. And I really respect when people are open about the work they've done. It annoys me when they're like, no, I'm all natural and everything is natural and I'm against this stuff. And I know who your doctor is. Like,
and that's also
it's the fakeness that bothers me.
Yes, it's that they're lying. Like if they just don't respond at all, then that's their own thing.
Yeah, it's your own thing. You want to keep it private, you can, but don't preach about natural and and lie. Because then you are really setting unrealistic standards because you clearly got help from the doctor and you're talking about how you're pro-natural and you're telling a girl that, oh, I didn't get anything done and look at how I look. And it clearly does not even look natural. It's not like you did minimal work. You did heavy work. And then she feels bad that she can't look like that naturally. It's not very nice. I just respect transparency.
Yes. Do you know people who have done plastic surgeries and lie about it?
Yes. And not just lie about it. I know people who are like, got heavy filler and are like, oh, look at her with her filler. I'm like, girl, you have filler too. Get off your high horse.
The hypocritical part.
And what is it about judging? I personally got no work done and I don't really like to see everyone look the same. I'm not necessarily a fan, but it doesn't bother me because I'm okay with myself. If it bothers you so heavily, it gives me the vibe that, oh, I want to get it done and I haven't had the opportunity. So I'm jealous and angry. That's the sensation it gives me. Maybe it's just me.
No, I get that. I mean, in the past, I wanted to do a nose job.
You have a nice nose.
I do. I mean, I agree. I do. But in the past, when you're a teenager or when I was a teenager, I was seeing all these examples of models, Victoria's Secret models with perfect noses. I saw this series, movies, basically the whole media. And I was like, okay, their nose is so straight and little and tiny. Why is my nose like that? And I actually started to do like research how much it costs. I know how much it costs. I knew that they break the bone of
in order
to. It's really fucked up.
It's a very difficult surgery.
Yes, and it's on your face. However, I'm also not against it at all. If people want to do it, it's the same thing as you said, the transparency part. Like I believe, like especially if you're a person who has social media, who is in the media, who has people following, or like you have an influence on people, and you lie about it. I mean, it creates the wrong views, and people like me in the teenage years would start believing that.
And it's not just that; it makes me angry because you think I'm dumb. Like, are you undermining my intelligence? You think you can lie to my face?
Yeah, but some things are really hard to even notice. Like, I honestly believed when I was younger that, for example, BBL did not exist. I didn't know it existed. So if you don't know, you don't know. Yeah. I saw these butts of like, let's say something easy, like Kim Kardashian in the beginning. And I thought it was like her natural butt in the beginning until this, of course, started to grow like crazy. And you're like, okay, what's going on? I mean, if you don't know, you don't know if it's an implant, and then you will start comparing yourself to that.
Yeah, of course. And it's very unhealthy, but a lot of these standards have been set from even before plastic surgery was a huge thing. But something Megan touched upon was that back in the day when she started getting stuff done, because she got her nose very young and her nose was fine.
Yeah.
And she got really, really tiny implants in her breasts. And it was like back then, she pointed out that it was important to get things done that can go unnoticed. Whereas now, go big or go home is a bit of the vibe.
Literally how it is.
So for me personally, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. As long as you're not affecting anyone else, hurting anyone else, I don't really care. But I think especially when you have a big following, it's important to be transparent. And it's important to also promote positivity and, I don't know, do something useful with your platform other than posting your big fat butt. That's it.
Speaking of noses, there is one influencer who is from the US, I think, but I think she lives in France. I don't know. She's everywhere. She has a very beautiful, like, aristocratic nose. If you think of a little bit like Roman Empire, her Instagram is Chloe, her name basically. And she posts a lot about her nose, that she never wanted to change it, and that how we should embrace our unique features. And seeing them, like, yeah, it's true, because in the past, I mean, everything changes in terms of beauty standards. Like 10 years ago, big butts were in. 20 years ago, it was this super skinny, no butts.
And the super skinny is coming back.
Exactly.
Cheers to Ozempic.
Oh my God, it's scary.
Honestly, people are taking literal medication for diabetes to lose weight. What is going on in this world?
That's so bad.
It is crazy.
And also,
it cannot be good for you. You cannot convince me that a healthy person taking diabetic medication to lose weight is okay.
No.
And I'm sorry, but you're taking away that medication from people who need it to look a certain way. It is crazy.
Yeah, this whole beauty standards go so deep.
Yeah. And it all stems also from makeup and filters and Photoshop and I don't know, just seeing an airbrushed cover photo and thinking, oh, she looks like that. She does not look like that when she wakes up. I do not look the same when I wake up in the morning and when I'm dressed up to go out.
No.
Of course I don't. I don't look the same at a photo shoot and at home. It's very different when you have professional makeup artists doing your makeup. Even if you're the best at doing your own makeup, it is a little bit different getting the professional help.
Oh, definitely.
And a professional hairdresser and having someone that's going to choose the right clothing for your body and style it a certain way. And then the photographer comes in and takes it from a certain angle that makes your body and face look the best. And then he takes that image and puts it into Photoshop and fixes the little imperfections.
Yeah, and then it comes back to the lighting, the stylist.
Yeah.
You're wearing the clothes are going to look better in photo shoots. It is a whole process that people who watch them, or at least coming back to me, I did not realize the whole effort it takes in order to look that picture perfect.
Yeah.
Before coming into the modeling scene and everything.
And it's really funny because I have met quite a few models in my life that work abroad, have way more serious careers than I do. And even from the stuff I see online, it's really interesting to me how these women that are put on a pedestal for being the most beautiful in the world are often the most insecure. The fashion industry tends to do that to someone. And especially when you're so deep into it.
Yeah.
A lot of these women are some of the most insecure you have met in your life.
Yeah.
It is insane. And then you will see a very, you know, like based on beauty standards, normal girl who is actually confident because she doesn't care.
Yeah.
So I think it all stems from within and from acceptance. You talked about a nose before, and it's really interesting because a friend of mine got a nose job and she had the most beautiful, like ancient Greek nose.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit bigger, but she also has really big lips, really big eyes, really big features in general. So on her, it balanced her face and she got it done. And it took so long getting used to the new disbalanced face.
Yeah.
And even she herself kind of regrets it.
Ooh.
And there's no going back.
Especially with noses.
Yeah. Because honestly, like she was a beautiful woman. She did not need it.
Oh, that's sad to hear.
But it's something that she was picked on as a child. It's something that you don't see in the media so much. So she felt bad about it. So she went and she got it fixed.
Oh no, that
Crazy.
that breaks my heart.
We have a new guest in the studio.
Oh, la la.
Margaret's here. Hi.
Oh, that's so cute also.
It's really funny. I just turned around and I said to her, I was like, oh my God, you're so pretty. And it's so weird knowing someone on social media for ages and like meeting them face to face. You're like, oh, you're real.
Yeah. That's so cute.
It's weird. It's cute.
It's nice to have you here. I hope you enjoy. Nice. And I have no idea what we talked about before. So
wait, just to pause. We have a big audience in the studio right now. It's so weird. We got used to filming just us and the producer. And now there's like a whole group of people here.
Yeah. Because the studio is like...
Guys, stay quiet. You're ruining our sound. No, I'm joking. So we were talking about beauty standards.
Yeah, what though?
I don't remember. Anyway, to sum up, I just think you do you. You do what works for you. It's fine. It's all good. Just be transparent about it.
Yeah.
And personally, look into things. I think you should look into things properly and know the side effects and know the risks, because surgery is surgery. And at the end of the day, think about it very carefully, because if you regret certain stuff, there isn't going back.
And like, what is the reason you're doing a surgery?
Yeah, if you're doing it for you,
like,
or for other guys.
Ask the question why to yourself. Like, okay, why do I want to do a nose job? Okay, it's because I want my nose to be smaller. Why do you want your nose to be smaller? It's because I feel like I want to fit in with the Victoria's Secret models. Like, the more whys we ask to each other, the closer we'll get to the root. And that has helped me a lot throughout these years.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, at the end of the day, when you're so deep into social media, it's really hard to find your own individuality and find your individual beauty. And I think it comes a lot from parenting. And I think it's really important to teach your children to focus on education and working on what comes from within. Because at the end of the day, this is a shell. I have said it before. I will say it again and again and again until it starts sticking with people. And yeah, it is easy for me to say. I'm trying not to be a hypocrite about it. But at the end of the day, if you meet a really beautiful girl, and this has happened to me, you meet a gorgeous girl and then you get to know her and she's empty. You get accustomed to beauty. You get used to it and you get bored of it. It's not very interesting. Whereas if you meet an average looking person or an ugly person, which I don't believe there is any such thing, but let's, for context based on beauty standards, phrase it that way. And they have an infectious laugh and a beautiful sense of humor, and they know what's happening in the world, and they have passions about things. That is beautiful. And honestly, when you're truly fond of the person sitting across you, they become even more and more beautiful in your eyes. You start noticing like their beauty, which stems from within. And people who work on inside, they have a certain light to them.
Yes.
And I think that's wonderful. And I think that's what counts at the end of the day, because no guy's going to marry you because you're hot. No one's going to be your friend because you're hot. Like we have joked about that. But no one's going to choose to be in your presence because you are hot. You're not going to get a job because you're hot unless you're a model.
It's so long you can last in the presence of a person who is just negative or is just not your vibe. But
even the really successful models that I look up to, a lot of their beauty stems from within. Like you see the work they do on inside, and you see those beautiful characteristics from within. So that's just my advice.
Beautifully said, Maria. I like it. I agree with everything you say.
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's our take on beauty standards.
Yeah. Have you ever been influenced though by beauty standards?
Oh, I'd be lying if I didn't say that when I get these comments and, when I see these images, I haven't compared myself ever, because even though I do fit into beauty standards, I don't fit into all of them.
Wait, you said you have compared?
Or I have compared.
Okay.
So, I have had thoughts of like, do I need bigger lips? Am I fat?
Yeah.
Especially because I'm in the fashion industry. So I have been called fat.
Do you remember any time that they called you?
I've mentioned this in one of our episodes, but I was very lucky. My mom was always on set with me. So people contain their comments, but I have heard comments of a specific designer in Cyprus that was like, I don't even understand how she's a model. She's so fat. And I'm like, excuse me? You don't have to hire me. I work for someone else.
Yeah.
I fit into their clothes. How about you make bigger sizes? And not like 12-year-old child sizes.
Yeah.
How about that? So, especially because I've never been I've always been thin. So the fact that my nickname for a really long time in Cyprus was the juicy model was insane.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
So I don't know. It never really got to me much because I grew up with positive comments and from the adults around me. And I grew up very blessed. So it never got to me because I also do have that Serbian kind of delusional confidence.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm the shit. So
Yeah, I cannot relate.
It's just innate in me, I think.
Yeah.
So
Maybe you were just born with it in that sense.
I have had drops, but it never fully affected me.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there is any person who is completely 100% immune to things like that.
No, but there are people who are more immune by nature. And then there's also the people who have really worked on it and became more immune.
Yeah.
I mean, we're human. You feel things.
Yeah, man.
That's a good thing. But you learn, it's all about emotional intelligence, learning to control what you feel, learning to recognize what you feel, expanding your repertoire of emotions, doing that work. So it's nice.
Good for you.
You?
Yeah, I was like, wait, is she going to ask back this question, or are we going to a different topic?
I always ask back.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I have been called various things throughout the years as doing modeling in Cyprus. I've been called, they've been saying that, okay, my boobs are too big. They cannot, which is somehow a compliment.
Oh, you poor thing.
Somehow a compliment, but when they are saying it in the tone of voice, it's like, oh my God, like, what are you going to do with those? You cannot fit in the clothes. It's
yeah.
When you're like a little bit like 18, 19 years old, it's okay, whatever. I've been called, you definitely need to lose some centimeters around your hips. Okay. You're too big, the classic one. I heard it so many times. I've heard that it's time that I start working out more. By the way, I was working out.
You know what's really funny though?
What?
Weren't most of those people who said those comments like way bigger than you?
Yeah, definitely. And that's also why I'm like, who are you? But
it's ridiculous.
But in that moment though, I do not think of that, or I do not think of like, oh.
See, I did.
Yeah.
I would look at them and I'd be like, how about you start going to the gym?
Yeah, I mean, I was not like that. I was like, okay, of course I will get a little bit hurt. I would start to think about it. I would, I'm a little bit more emotional in that sense.
That's so sad.
Especially in a younger age. And people would say also designers. It's usually designers who are a little bit...
and stylists.
And stylists.
It's the people who deal with the clothes.
Yes.
Because they need to make you fit into a certain size.
Yeah, just get this correct sizings.
Sometimes it doesn't exist because that's how the fashion industry is. So they have also adapted to the industry. It's not necessarily always... I don't want to villainize a certain person because it's not always their fault. They also don't know better.
Yeah. Now, of course, I will speak more about it, I think, in another episode later on about the whole journey when I was in live TV. But it is a lot of girls who like always ask, like, how do you react when you respond to comments like that? Especially when you are in the fashion industry or when it's from a relative. And
or do you have a very public profile with a lot of people following you? Yes, I mean, you're exposed to more comments.
I mean more when that kind of person, like a normal person gets a comment like that. How would you advise or give like example to the girl how she can respond when she receives a text message, a comment from like a relative, oh, you need to lose weight, for example? Do you have any like advice to give?
With age, I have learned to shut it down. Their comment is rude, so you can respond rudely back.
Okay, so it's not like kindness.
If a relative told me, oh, I think you should lose weight, I actually turn around. I'm like, oh, I think you should mind your own business. I have a scale and I have a mirror. I'm not delusional. I know where I stand. If I want to lose weight, I will lose weight.
Okay, so you would go for the...
I honestly, it depends who it's coming from. If it's a family member and a friend and they're being rude to you, yeah, I'll be rude back so you don't do it again.
But sometimes they don't even say these comments out of rudeness. It's more like...
It's still rude.
As if yes, but in their head, it's not rude.
Yeah, but when you respond rudely, it snaps them out of it. So they're like, oh,
yeah, but their tone of the voice sometimes it's not like, oh my God, you need to lose weight. It could be like, oh, you put on some weight. It could also be that way.
So then my response is like, yeah, I know, I have a scale. Yeah. How about we don't talk about my weight anymore? Because it makes me uncomfortable.
Okay, if that's
the tone of voice, then I'll be like, yeah.
Okay. That's another way to do it. That's true.
Because I have gotten comments from relatives and I came to a point where, it was a once or twice, or you lost too much weight or you gained too much weight. I'm literally like, can we never talk about my weight?
Yeah.
I have a scale. I have a mirror. I just don't want to talk about my weight. It's my problem. Yeah. My body, my problem. And I know I eat very healthy and I know I train and I know I'm very careful. My problem.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I don't know. How do you deal with it?
I usually always say, always depends also completely. Like, like in the past, I used to like laugh it away because that's
when you laugh it away, you give them opportunity to do it again.
Until you know and find your way of how to deal with it. I think that's the natural way of responding, like, and then just go home and cry. No, but it's not going home and cry.
No, I will make them cry. I'm so Slavic.
That's your way of doing it. And I'll be like,
you want me to cry? You're going to cry.
No, but realistically speaking, I usually respond saying, honestly, there's none of your business. Essa fora.
Oh, you're so sweet about it.
But I say it in just in like a normal tone of voice.
Yeah.
And also if it can...
Usually when you say that, do they comment ever again?
Sometimes we forget. It also depends. Because for example, like aunties or like grandmothers, sisters, or, you know, a little bit older people, they don't know better. I mean, they don't know better in terms of, they think that they're giving you a compliment sometimes even.
Yeah, I guess.
So in that sense, I think it really depends on the person.
To be honest, I think everyone has to figure out their own way to deal with it. And it has a lot to do with what your natural response is, because everyone's personality is different. The way they cope with things is different. So it really depends. I have that Slavic aggression to me. So
we have noticed.
So for me, honestly, like I will never make a mean comment first. And I'm a really easygoing and calm person. But when you press the button, it's like, boom.
Yeah.
You don't get to try to make me feel bad. And this stems from the fact that I got bullied heavily in school for being too skinny. And it stems from the fact that I've had men make this comment and that comment. And especially if it comes from men, then I become like mean, like really mean. Because who are you to tell me? So I've just really learned that, you know what? Sometimes the only way to shut it down is with that explosion.
Yeah. And in general, like I don't agree at all that we should comment on people's looks at all, to be honest.
Me too.
That should be not a thing. Like it's way nicer to hear, oh, you have such a lovely way of laugh, for example, that we mentioned,
and you know,
or your personality, oh, you make me so happy, or you give such a nice energy vibe, instead of being, oh, you're so pretty, you're so hot, you're so like, I love your like, it's so much on appearances the whole time.
I like commenting. Like Margaret walked into the studio, I was like, you're so pretty.
Yeah, but she's so pretty. That's understandable because it's the first thing you see also.
Yeah.
But when you have seen the person, like, and again,
also when you see someone for the first time face to face and they're glowing and they're so, you're like, you're so pretty. I think it's a nice comment to give.
It is different when it's like the first thing you see, because the first thing we see is appearances, but it should not be the only thing that we comment about.
Or like when I'm going out with Diana and we're going out and she's my best friend and she knows I think she's the most beautiful human in the world, but she'll make an extra effort and get dressed, or she'll be in sweats and she'll just look really good that day. Yeah. I will go the extra mile and be like, oh my God, babe, you look so good. Yeah. Wow. Oh my God, you're so hot. And I want to give my friends that boost when I'm thinking it. I'm literally thinking it. I say everything positive, I think. So it's in our nature to get a boost from a comment on our looks. It's a natural thing. So why not give that extra boost?
That's different.
When it's positive.
That's different. I'm talking about when it's so heavily focused on that we comment on other people's looks instead of turn it into like how the person is.
Yeah, of course.
Usually that is the focus. It's different when it's your friends. You want to see like uplift the person. And of course, because it's not often that you and I would say to each other, oh, you're so pretty, or whatever comment. That's a different story.
But definitely the best compliments we have received in our life had nothing to do with looks.
No. Do you remember any of nice comments you received?
I don't know. The comments that stand out to me were never really about my looks. Like Diana always comments how when she walks up to a restaurant, she's like listening to hear if she can hear my laugh because it's so loud and infectious. So that really sticks with me. It's funny. It's cute. Or I don't know. I love it when I've had like one of my best friend's moms comment on, I love how dynamic you are and how confident you are and how like you have that thing about you. And that really stuck with me because that's something I've worked on.
Yes.
Or when you get congratulated on a job well done or something well executed, something you truly worked for, then it's more satisfying because it is not like the genetic lotto I won. Yeah. It's actually something I tried for.
Yes.
So then it's just, I don't know, it gives you more, it has more meaning, I guess.
Yeah, of course. of course.
You don't have any?
Yeah, of course I do. I'm like waiting for the question back.
I'm finishing my answer. You asked first.
Questions, Maria. No, me and no. I actually heard a recently that was like, oh, I like that. Compliment. Is that what it's called? Someone said that I'm a fire starter. I'm like, Of course, I Googled it.
Where did that stem from?
I think I posted something on social media that is a little bit triggering. It was actually a few months ago, and I was like, "What does it mean being a fire starter?"
Someone who starts fires.
Yeah, someone who likes to start conversations, opening up, triggering, in order to start a little bit of a. I don't know. Give me words.
Like stir things up, start a conversation.
Exactly. Make people think, open up a little bit the minds, and that was a very nice compliment.
That is a very nice compliment.
That is really cool. And also, I've heard. Also, the past years that I'm wise. I'm a very wise person. And that was very nice to hear because when I don't know why I was doing this.
Do you remember who it came from? Do you remember like the moment?
Yeah, I do remember those. Yes, I do. Because they stick with you.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me that I was told this because when I was younger in school, for some reason, I don't know why, I wanted to be a little bit dumb or pretend that I'm a little bit dumb. Not dumb, but like instead of like getting something right away. I don't know if anyone can recognize this or like relate to this at all, because I'm thinking back, I'm like, why did I do this in school? But I would be like in class and be like, I don't understand. But I actually did understand. Or like, it was very weird.
No, I was like, teacher, me.
No, and or for example, I would be like, okay, we can see that.
No, but why would you ever want someone to think you're dumber than you are?
Not to think that I'm dumb, but to be perceived a little bit dumb. Because, for example, automatically when girls are a little bit giggly, for example, or like they don't take things a little bit they don't take things too seriously, it can be perceived that you are dumb. Unfortunately, like being a young girl back then, especially when there was like the series like Simple Life with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. I don't know if you watch them, but like they're two very smart women who were perceived dumb in TV, and I just like adapted it, not by choice, but a little bit how I was. So
maybe because you grew up in Sweden.
No, but Sweden. I mean, why would I do that? Because of growing up in Sweden. I mean, growing up in Sweden, like, there's so much.
Maybe you had different influences.
No, I mean, in school, people are extremely smart. People are like,
I'm not saying people are dumb in Sweden.
I don't understand why.
No, but maybe back then in Sweden, you had more celebrity influences from the Nicole Richie, and because in Serbia we didn't watch them.
Yeah, of course, it could be, but I'm saying more that it was not a choice. Just I can say it now. That I was like pretending a bit. Like, why was I?
That's crazy. I've never heard something like that.
It's very weird. That's why.
Very interesting.
If anyone relates to this, please reach out to me because it's very weird. I just didn't, like, for instance, I didn't have the greatest grades in school. Okay,
straight A student.
I was, but it's also because I was not studying.
Yeah,
you know. But if I would study, I would obviously have good, but I just had other priorities. So automatically. I was perceived like it's a very weird mixture. I don't know how else to explain it because I haven't had this conversation with anyone, to be honest.
It's bizarre to me because it's like the polar opposite of my experience.
So for a long time, I even thought that I was like not the smartest person in the world, you know, because I mean,
we're definitely not.
No, but I mean, based on grades then, you know, because I was, not studying, whatever.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
so sad.
Yes, man. But now, for example, when I do study, I notice it's true, I am a wise person. I know I have a lot of like general knowledge. I know things. I want to learn things. I learn very fast. So by also being, it's nice to see the
and wisdom comes with age.
The evolvement of how you're growing into the person that you are. And I think that's beautiful. That was the end of me. Amen. Yeah.
No, I think it's crazy to me to hear because I had the complete opposite problem because in school, people would assume I'm dumb because I'm pretty. I mean, pretty, whatever.
But that's another thing.
Or at work or in this environment. And I would always try to prove and go the extra mile to prove how I'm smarter than everyone else. And I know, and I can keep up. And I had the complete opposite approach in life of wanting to push forward how many languages I speak and how smart I am and how I know things and never dumb myself down.
I
So
think
it's weird.
That's a good word. Dumb yourself down.
Yeah.
I think it's very common. Now that you said that word, something inside of me opened up, and I remember that it was a thing back then.
Wow. That is
Not
crazy.
like, I also remember like some of my classmates.
Wait, let's ask the girls.
Yeah.
Have you ever dumbed yourself down? Really?
So it is the
You?
thing.
Dumb yourself down?
Wow.
I'm the weird one. It's crazy to me. That is so interesting.
I'm really curious to hear from more ladies out there. If
Me
there's-
too.
If it's a common
Have you
thing.
ever dumbed yourself down, girls?
Yeah.
Why? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Please. Shine.
Yeah.
Lead with your intellect.
It is a very interesting topic. Now, a topic starter, conversation starter now.
It's crazy to me. It's like a big, I don't know, maybe cultural shock as well.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to hear about your guys' experiences, and maybe we can touch upon this very interesting conversation in a later episode.
Yeah.
Because I'm literally in shock.
Yeah. I can imagine. I'm also in
Wow.
shock that it's out there still. Maybe, or maybe not.
Wow. Okay.
Or maybe it's a common thing.
I think it's time to wrap things up.
Yeah, I think so too. And
And
see you next week.
see you next week.
Yes, with Ice Little Girls.
Do we say our names again?
I'm so confused.
It's just a wrap.
It's like wrap. We're done.
Start to show.